tells us we want to invest my money wisely. So Brian is going to pitch to us 3 different ideas, and we're going to divvy up that $1 million wherever we think there's the most value. So Brian, take it away.
All right. So the first idea is, and most of these haven't really thought them through, but like there's something there. Like,
yep.
There's probably a lot of logistics that need to be figured out. But so the first one is, they just built a car wash right next to our house, or in a street close to us, and I was thinking, those car wash places, it would be really cool if you like made that more of an experience. So like, you get onto the tracks and it moves you, and it almost feels like a ride.
Yeah.
Like, why not lean into that and make it an activity? It's like a virtual reality experience within a car wash. So like you're in the car wash and your car's all, moving around because it's getting washed, but also you're shooting. You're using your smartphone and AR to shoot aliens that are attacking you or something like that.
Yes.
And so it's like a video game.
Yes. Coming back to this idea.
Because
I have. Oh, it's so hard to wait. But continue. I want to hear it. So that's your car wash idea, right?
Okay.
That's car wash idea.
Yep.
The second one is, so you can. I saw this YouTube video a while back. It was like one of these Science Channel type ones, and you can take carbon dioxide, like from a fire extinguisher, and if you spray it into a sock, like into cloth, it'll solidify and essentially turn into dry ice.
Yeah.
Which I didn't really know. And the thought is, well, what if you could essentially sell little canister? Okay, really, it's you make a cooler that you can put these canisters of CO2 into, and it creates dry ice in the cooler.
Oh, interesting. So like more of a cooler experience when you're like getting drinks, or is this just for?
No, this is so that you
so
can
so you don't have to go to the store and buy dry ice to put it in.
Oh, I see.
It's make dry ice on demand in your cooler.
Okay.
With little CO2 cartridges.
Yep. Okay.
And then the last one is, so we all go to the gym, but I'm proposing a much fancier gym called a James. And I don't know, maybe there's a dress code.
There's already a great idea here.
Just so I'm understanding the idea correctly here, there's a gym, but a much more upscale is a James.
Right.
Love it.
Right.
And yeah, the whole idea is maybe there's somebody at the door. You have to be on a VIP list, fancier equipment.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'll give my thoughts and then you give your thoughts. Okay. So car wash idea, obsessed. Would put $1 million. I mean, if I had $1 million, I would be doing this already. The other day we went to the car wash and it was like a quick wash or something like that, and they had like LED lights that like flashed colors and all this stuff, and we were like, what? This is crazy. Whoa. This is the only car wash we're going to use from now on. So the idea of so a car wash, what's interesting about it is it's the same speed every time, and it's the same, like all of the factors of it are the same every time. So I feel like an AR game could really, really work in that space.
Well, yeah.
And would be really fun. And all you really have to do is get people to pay a couple more dollars for your car wash and then to come back every time.
Yeah.
And you have a successful car wash model that you could potentially replicate.
You get a leaderboard up there. And it's like, oh, someone beat my high score. And you get pings like, oh, you've been knocked out of the high score at this car wash.
And then you're like, well, I need a car wash anyway.
Yeah.
I'll go play the game.
So I had I really like this idea as well. This is an idea I was going to use for one of my own idea gauntlets at some point, but it's a little bit different. Mine was more I guess more theatrical experience, where it's a little bit longer of a car wash, but it's maybe designed with kids in mind, or like you choose an experience and it's like kind of TVs around type of thing. It's you're going through and it's like it's Christmas themed, and so it's like you're going through a holiday thing, or it's action themed. It's lasers and space or it's whatever. And so you go and you like pick the scenario you'd like to experience, and then you're like rolling out new experiences. So people are like, oh, I want to go and I want to go to the car wash again, but this time do the Disney one or the this one or the that one. And it's 5 minutes or whatever. So it was a little more theatrical, but I think it's similar
vein,
which is that like you're locked in for 5 minutes no matter what.
Yes. How can we make this more enjoyable for you?
Yeah,
love it.
Yeah, I think AR could be. I hadn't thought about that because you're like stuck in a space anyway.
Exactly. Going a static speed, like they could really program in an interesting experience.
Oh yeah, and you couple like some like big earthquake scenes or whatever, like we got there's an explosion, and so now that's when the thing comes blow dryers are hitting you.
Yeah.
Or even like you're on a river raft and all of a sudden you go down a waterfront.
Cool, yeah.
Lots
of good ways to take that.
Yeah. So
steal that, somebody. I want to go to this.
That's clearly, I would say that's easily going to be the front runner. I would imagine in the idea gauntlet
at this stage.
The second idea.
You go first.
The dry ice making cooler.
Dry ice making cooler. I think is interesting. I don't think it's a bad idea. I don't know how much like market value there is for that. Like dry ice being like a commodity in general is like.
Yeah.
I don't know who's buying and selling it and like what their margins are in it, and like I think sure, like would it be nice if this existed? Yes, but is it like if you spend all this time and engineering effort making it only to have nobody buy it, it's like, well, is it really worth it, I guess?
Yeah, I would put it in the camp of like we had I don't remember if it was one podcast or two ago where we talked about like our vaccination kit.
Oh yeah.
And it was kind of like, it's in the same vein where it's like, if it scientifically could be engineered and it like made sense, then this is obviously a superior way of getting ice. If you could just have a canister in your garage or whatever that you could then use to make ice on demand in your cooler. Great idea. But only if it like scientifically works. And then it's like, okay, this is a good idea.
Well, so I have this guy. I know this chemist, and I actually asked him about this idea once, and he kind of verified that it would work. But the problem is that
you need nuclear fusion to
well, it's not that you need nuclear fusion. Is that you would need to produce it like in China or something like that, and then you'd have to ship it. And there's weird customs laws about shipping certain kinds of materials that are
interesting
volatile, and so you'd have to like do that right.
You'd have to understand the logistics game, the supply chain for that's interesting.
That's a difficult aspect.
You should ask your chemist friend if there would be possible to create a solution that you could shoot out of your windshield wipers and it would automatically melt the ice on your car.
If only.
Sure. I'll do that.
Because I know that's something Andre wants really badly.
And I do think that could be done. Like, I almost feel like if I had the resources, I could do it. Third idea was...
The James.
So what's funny, we were in San Francisco not that long ago, and as part of like where we were staying, we had access to the Equinox gym that was part of it. And Equinox is like a really upscale gym chain that has received some acclaim,
accolades.
But what I do wish, I will say that, and I think maybe we've talked about this on the podcast before, is I just do wish that there was a James that was somewhere between like having a country club membership, which is not accessible to most people, and going to Vasa, which is like cattle. Basically. It's just like too much. Like I really do wish that there was.
Yeah, because it seems like you have like really crappy gyms, and then you have like the regular normal gym that almost everybody goes to, and then and
then something way out of your league.
Yeah, and something way out of your league.
It feels like there does need to be more middle options between Vasa, which is trash, and Country Club, which you can't go to. And I don't know what that is.
I do.
It's the James, is what it is.
It's the James. I almost feel like this is an episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Where they're like, we have to make an upscale gym. We can't call it a gym though. We got to call it a James.
Yes.
You know,
but then
seems like there's a really funny episode of a TV show that's like that's the whole
Yeah.
episode.
Right. Scott's spinning
Yeah, it
this
probably
into
is
still